Welcome to ChamberTalk, the podcast where we explore the stories and insights of leaders in various sectors who are making a difference in our community. I'm your host, Andrew Gregson. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Don Skala, the owner of Brea Orange County Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning. Don has also been a Chamber member for 21 years, so thank you for your membership, Don, and welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me, Andrew.
So, Don, we're going to start off with one of those simple questions. Let's start from the very beginning. What led you into the plumbing industry in the first place?
Well, the business has been going for 67 years. We've had 4 generations working in the business. When I was 19 years of age, I had 2 years of college behind me, and my father asked me to go into the business with him, and I thought about it. Next day I told him absolutely yes, because I believe in family businesses. I did then, and I certainly do now. So I spent 2 more years in college, and I went to him full-time the next year. I think it was 1974. 51 years ago.
So, back then it was very common for people to, pick up like apprenticeships and things like that. Because your family were already involved, were you sort of already ahead, or was it really sort of like starting from the beginning and the hazing and everything else that happened?
I went to a 4-year apprenticeship starting in 1974, and I graduated in 78. It wasn't easy. My father actually wanted me to start running the business right away.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted 5 years in the field. But by the end of the 70s, I was running the business. Not always successfully, by the way.
Right.
We were, there's a lot of ups and downs and things you had to learn, whether it was, a failure or a success, and that's how you learn over the next 20 years.
Now over these years, in the time that you've sort of took over and running the business, there's been a lot of technology changes anyway, and something that people don't probably realize is there's a lot of changes in the plumbing industry too. How do you in a business, how do you keep up with everything that's going on all the time? Well,
one thing we do, we go to seminars. We send our people to like Dale Carnegie, but what we send them to school. They all can go to apprentice, whether it's HVAC or plumbing. They go to apprenticeship training for 4 years.
And are those run by special schools?
PHCC is plumbing, heating, cooling contractors.
Okay.
We also love to train. We love to hire people that have little experience. Mm-hmm. So not only can go to the school, but we can train them ourselves.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
Our best success overall is the trainees.
And generally today, do you find hiring still okay? Is it become a little bit difficult like it has for others?
Paradigm shift over the last 8 to 10 years. It's a little tougher. There's less people that want to really work. It's a tough game.
Right.
If you're working under a house or in the attic, it's tough on the body, and it's tough to do. I think a lot of people would rather go into technology.
Right. But then eventually there's going to be too many people in tech, right? And
Absolutely.
Things like plumbing and electricity and stuff that's not going to go away. So it's going to be a business that people can make money in for sure. So every business owner faces challenges in the beginning, and you say you started off really young. Well, what sort of the challenges were you when you first started off there?
We were very unsuccessful, I would say, for up to 20 years. It took, just hitting payroll was tough.
Yeah.
It took into the 90s where we started with HVAC in the early 90s. And then we finally compartmentalized all of our customers into QuickBooks. And then I purchased another business. And all those combinations helped grow our business and help make us successful.
And, for those who are listening who are thinking of maybe starting a business, or they're in business now and they're facing these challenges, and we're on our own often when we're in the business sector. There's nobody really there to give advice or anything. What advice would you share about sticking it out there if you're, struggling to pay payroll as many do?
You need to work in the field of whatever occupation it is for 5 to 10 years. You need to work for someone else. You need to go to seminars. You need to know how to balance your checkbook. It's very important. A lot of businesses fail the first 5 years. And then training. But I think you do need, whatever sector you're in, you need to know you have a customer base. That's important too. You want to know that you're going to be successful along the way. And I think vision is a very big point. If you can't dream it, and if you don't think about it, and you don't think about it from day to day to day, you're not really in the game.
Right.
It has to be a dream of yours, but it has to be reality also.
Would you add to that if you don't really, I know it's hard to say this, but if you don't really love or enjoy what you're doing, then maybe you should look for something else? Or
you have to have the passion.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Keeps you going, that one.
You better ask all the restaurant people. That is a passion. It has to be.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good answer. I like that. I hope a lot of people listen to that. So the plumbing industry is very competitive. Looking back, or even today, what do you think were the key factors that helped you succeed and stand out throughout, against competition?
Well, we hope that we take our reviews serious. We hope we have. I've always had a motto that there's only two things I really believe it's very important in business, and that's employees and customers.
Uh-huh.
And that's the things I dream about,
right.
And I talk about, and I preach about to management all the time. It's simple. It's a simple term, but it's that important. And there's one thing my father always said to me: the customer's always right. Well, it's pretty deep. It's actually a pretty deep statement.
Yeah.
Now, did I always believe that when I was younger? Yes and no, but it still sticks today. You have to believe that, and you have to act on it that way, I believe.
Now, you mentioned a big thing there about employees, and I totally agree with you. That's a big investment to do. You need to put some investment into your employees. What types of advice or strategies do you utilize to invest back into your people?
First thing we had mentioned earlier was training.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. I think that we have top benefits from everyone I've talked to in the field, retirement, medical. But, I think just, being part of the team,
right.
I think you can learn from the people that's been in my business a long time. One thing I'm very proud of is I have 4 different management teams.
Wow.
4 managers that have been with me for 25 to 35 years.
Well, that's a decent time.
They know that in the long run, they can advance, and they can do things if they want to stay with it. And there's a lot of benefits that way for them. That's one of the reasons why we expanded.
Right.
To have places. You can't have all chiefs in one room.
Right. So talking about expansion, because, it's not just one little outfit, isn't it? Do you want to share a little bit about the size of your corporation and how you've grown?
Well, I would say that in the late 60s, I took over a business in Downey. And at that time, I had the vision of, wow, I have to go to Orange County. I have 2 businesses in L.A. County. And so I got immediately a contractor's license for Orange County Plumbing, right? And that later expanded to other businesses in Orange County. But I knew that I needed to expand in order to keep all of my great employees.
Right.
They were in the field at one time, but they needed to improve themselves. I always believe that all of my employees, whether they're staff, apprentices, techs, need to go forward and improve themselves.
And today, what would you say is the size of the region that you cover?
We cover all of Orange County and Pomona Valley. Got an office in Pomona area, and from L.A. to the Orange County line. I mean, I'd say from L.A. all the way through Orange County and the Pomona Valley.
That's a decent size. That is decent.
Big, yeah.
And what are the main subjects that, or topic, or areas of business that you concentrate on?
We're plumbing, service and repair, and installation,
Right.
and we're HVAC, service and repair and installation. And we also take on both commercial and residential. We don't do any new work.
Okay.
We do tenant improvements, but we're there at the aftermarket after the building structure is built.
Okay.
And whether it's 1 year old or 100 years old. We can
And
take
you
it on.
you mentioned this word before, and I'm sorry for not knowing 100%, but what does HVAC stand for? What does it mean?
HVAC?
Yeah.
Heating, ventilation, air conditioning.
All right, there you go.
HVAC,
Okay.
yes.
That makes
And,
sense. That's a good one. All right, that's good. So, running a plumbing business isn't just like fixing pipes. Obviously, we just learnt what else you do. And obviously, managing employees, handling customers, and all the rest of the stuff. But what does your typical day look like, being at the top of that this mountain you've got going on?
I'm sort of, I would say that I'm semi-retired
Right.
at this stage. I have great management, and even though I can oversee them,
Right.
I can see all my businesses from one location, talk to them every day.
Right.
I'm active, but I only work half the time. There's an old story that an owner only works half a day, and he can do whatever he wants the other 12 hours of the day.
I like that. That's a good one.
So,
That's a good one.
yes.
And does even online reviews or social media change how you run your business? Does that make sense?
I believe so. If you're not listening to Google or Yelp, then you're really not listening to what the world is saying.
Right.
Yes, reputation management is very important, but that shouldn't be the end all. I mean, the way you run your business is very important. And I've taken something from Rotary, and I have it on the plaques, among other things, on my wall in every business. Is it the truth, and is it fair for all concerned?
Yeah, the four-way test.
Yeah,
Right.
Beginning of the four-way test. So, yes, that's important.
I like that test. That's what I liked about Rotary. Is it really has some set sort of guidelines there that you try and run your life with, and if you took them all and placed them in as best you could every day, you do really well, to be fair.
Two Rotarians here.
Yeah, that too. So we're going to go to like hiring and keeping skilled tradespeople. You touched on it a little bit, and obviously, today the world's changed. Actually, again, for some years, everybody's going, got to go to college, and now it's still like that, but it's fading into, well, maybe you want to learn a trade. How's this fitting into the business of today?
It's tough.
Right.
You can go to a lot of places and try to hire, and people really aren't qualified, or they're they say they're overqualified, but they're not really qualified.
Right.
And that happens in HVAC. It's tough. I think I was mentioning the last 8 to 10 years to you earlier that it's tougher to get the right fit
Right.
into your business. You want, and it's tough to keep them.
Right.
Now, fortunately for us, in all of our business, we have a handful of really qualified and good techs, but it's tougher and tougher. I may go. A lot of ways we find them is through family members.
Right.
We might find them through friends. We might find them through referrals. But when you go to the job site, or the other ones, it's tough to find the qualified ones. We pay a lot of money, and it doesn't pan out for the most part.
So if
It's hit and miss.
If a young person today was, they're not quite sure what they want to do, and they're thinking this is one of the things on their thinking list, what type of sort of information or advice would you share with them about why they might consider going into this type of line of work?
I would say that and the end is the pay is really well.
Right.
It's consistent work, like you'd mentioned earlier. Plumbing HVAC is not going away.
No.
It is an opportunity if you want to get your hands dirty.
Right.
Because you will be doing that.
But then, the benefits are huge, aren't they? You get to be able to go on vacation now and again. You earn decent money. You can help provide your family, mortgage, things like that. I mean, like there's huge benefits to it. It's not sort of it's not just a dirty job, so to speak, is it really?
Right. I think you have to have a passion for it.
Without a doubt, yeah, I get that.
Because otherwise you're gone.
Yeah. I remember, so for many years, my family, they always wondered what my cousin was going to do, my cousin Alex. And he ended up, his dad made him go to the gas company in the US, in the UK,
Sure.
and learn a trade. And you know what? He started his own business he did what you were saying, really. He learnt from someone else. He got all of his licensing. He now has his own business. It's very, very successful, and he does really, really well. In fact, he probably works maybe 10 days out of the year, and the rest is off. But you know what I mean?
Whoa.
Like he really is. He's really figured it out. So, like
Perfect.
you say, there's definitely a path that one can take if you're willing to put the hard work in at the beginning, and it's a rewarding job.
We've had many employees that became contractors.
Right.
I have no problem with that.
No, well, it's good to see people
we are
grow.
trying to have people move forward.
Right. No, 100%. There's
think
nothing better than that, really, to be honest. It means you've done a great job. So, looking ahead, what's new for Brea Orange County Plumbing?
Well, we're very happy. We just built a building in Orange Street in Brea,
All right.
and we're very proud of it. Right off of Lambert.
Right.
But the opportunities are, we're going into some. We have some bird eye on our website now for review management. We have a new marketing system now. After 16 years, we have a new marketer, and we look at nothing but positive results.
And do you
2025?
And are you still open? Are you still looking to people to hire? Or are you fully established? Or
That really should be 101. If you're not looking, you never know when the nugget is there. So
Right.
You should always be looking. That's my motto.
And so as we're coming to a bit of a close today, we always ask our guests or give them the opportunity to share a final message, right? And it could be anything. It could be just a shameless plug, or it might be some profound wisdom. And so hopefully you've got something in mind. What would you like to share, Don?
No, I think that I was happy to be in your chamber. I was happy to be in 20 chambers of commerce. I believe not only to give back to the community, but to help nonprofits within the community. And that's what we try to do. But with Brea, I would say that in my other businesses, we're just trying to help the public
Right.
solve their problems,
Yeah.
and employ people that will help the economy.
I like that. And but now you just opened another question.
Uh-oh.
So, Chamber of Commerce. So, how have Chamber of Commerce assisted or been effective in your business?
Well, you're meeting other people within the community. You have opportunity of advertising within the community. I'm connecting with nonprofits within the community.
That's true.
And that's sort of our goal, to give back. And so I think I had mentioned this earlier, that if you profit from the community, you should give back to the community.
Yeah, I believe that. That's very true. Well, Don, unless you've got anything more to say, I'm very happy that you came on today, and I really do appreciate all your time.
I appreciate being here.
Oh, good. Excellent. So for those of you who are watching, thank you so very much for tuning in. Thank you again, Don, for joining us, and thank you to the listeners. Until next time, stay inspired and connected by visiting nocchamber.com and selecting Sign Up for e-news at the top of the page. Or on the same website, you can just select Listen to Chamber Talk for some more interviews just like Don. Thank you very much, Don.